Okay guys, backyard scrapping here. We're just going to do a quick little unboxing. This is actually from Dr. Z. You guys watched the video where I did that little test for him. And what we're going to do is just, he sent the rest of the stuff for me to refine for him. So what we're going to do is just unbox this, see what we have. Looks like this is the powder that we did the test on. This is just some raw contacts and some more raw contacts. And then he had a blob that he actually said he tried to melt some down with a acetylene torch, and this must be the blob. Okay guys, so I figured out what this should yield. I mean, it's going to be, you know, minus, what my total is here is going to be minus from 1 to 5%, just depending. We may get a little variation on these because these still have quite a bit of copper on them, so that would give us a total of 17.22 troy ounces of at least 99.9 silver. So, and then again, that will probably be minus 1 to 5% because of vaporization and just general loss, you know, that you just can't help it. You're going to lose some. There's no way around it. Like I said, we're going to start with this piece, and then when we get all this done, which I said, like I said, this is probably going to take a month or more, because these I know are going to have to sit for at least a week or two in some AP. We got to get rid of that copper. That's what we're going to do, guys. I just wanted to do the numbers with you so you can see where we were at. If I figured everything right, we should end up with at least between 16 and 17 ounces of silver. Alright guys, we'll get back at you. Like I said in the last little segment, probably is going to be about a month, but it'll only be a few seconds to you guys. So we'll see you shortly. Okay guys, well here we are. Going to do the final tally on Dr. Z's refine, the silver contact powder and the contacts and everything that he sent me to refine for him. This was that little tiny piece of metal that I melted from the test, where I did the test on the 27 grams of material he sent so we could see if it was worth it to refine it. This is all of his filter papers. I'm going to return all this to him. This is the stuff that didn't dissolve, which, as you can see, there's quite a bit in there. There's probably a lot of this. I'm thinking that this is a nickel chromium alloy of some kind that's in here, and I'm sure there's some PM metals in here, you know, platinum group metals, and probably a little bit of gold in here. But maybe after we do, you know, a couple more refinings and get a good amount of this, maybe we can go after the gold. But right now it's just not, I mean, there's just probably not enough in there to even warrant going after it yet. I mean, we probably need a beaker full of this material to get a couple grams of gold out of it. This was contacts that didn't dissolve, which is more than likely the same as this material. I think there was a couple of grams of magnetic contacts here. In fact, there is just over a couple grams, which I did not dissolve because I don't like mixing that, you know, with my non-metallic material. And he had told me that he had taken a magnet to this powder before he sent it and got most of the magnetics out of it. And it's just not good to mix magnetics with non-magnetics when you're doing refining. In any case, what we ended up with, the blob weighed 168.97 grams. It yielded 156.70 grams of 99.9 silver, which gave us a recovery of 92.57%, which was excellent on that blob. Now the reason being, we got so much from that blob and so much more than we got from the powder that we tested, was when I melted this, this is actually only about half of what I put in the dish to melt. Whatever else is in this powder or in these powders just vaporized. So that was quite a bit of weight gone. So the fact that he had actually melted that blob down, or started melting that blob down, he burned off a lot of this material. So the blob was actually a heck of a lot purer than the powder was. Well, it was actually 92.57% pure. So the blob ended up being our best yield. The contacts were our worst, which I figured because of the copper and other materials and this non-dissolvable material. You know, I knew they were going to be, you know, kind of a 50-50 yield. We actually had 156.98 grams. We yielded 93.45 grams, which is a 59.52% yield, which is about right. I mean, you can figure, you know, when you've got contacts, you're going to have either tungsten, you're going to have some other kind of metals in there. So to even get almost a 60% yield off the contacts was good, but the blob saved us there. And then the powder was 376.94 grams. It yielded 299.49, which was a recovery of 79.45%, which was actually better than our test. So in the long run, we started with a total weight of 702.89 grams of material. We ended up with our powders, which 99.9% pure, thereabouts. I mean, it's maybe actually a little purer than that probably, for a total weight of 549.68 grams, which was a total of 78.20% recovery. This is Dr. Z's end. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that powder is really white. It came out very nice, very clean, good material. I mean, I hope you can see that, because it really came out pretty. So his end ended up being 412.26 grams. This is my end, which ended up being 137.42 grams, which I will just keep mine in powder form for right now. I've actually got quite a bit of powder put away already. And the thing is you don't want to keep melting and melting and melting this stuff, because you do have a vaporization loss. Now we're actually going to pour him, we're probably going to end up pouring him a couple of little bars out of this and then one larger bar, so as not to be remelting and remelting. But again, he's got right now 412.26 grams of powder. Now when we melt that, we are going to lose a percentage of that in vaporization. There's no way around it. That's really about it for this. I wanted to go over this with you. The next part of this video is going to actually be us melting his material and pouring his bars out of it. And then we're going to mark them, and then this video is going to be over. So I just wanted to get you up to date with where we are. The material has all been processed. It came out very well. I'm very pleased with it. I mean, there's no gray in this at all. This is just really nice white powder. So, alrighty guys, we'll get back with you when we go to the melt. Well, good morning guys. It's cold and rainy out here, and just going to start getting set up to pour Dr. Z's metal. We got 412, I think it was 412.26 grams of his powdered silver that we're going to pour into a couple of bars, small bars, and a couple of other bars. I think that's my copper one. Okay, so I'll get back at you when we get ready, get a little bit better set up. Okay guys, we are actually going to go ahead and get his powder poured into our crucible. I'm wearing gloves because you really don't want to be touching these with your hands. The oils from your fingers and then the heat cause them to burn out faster. So it's best to do your best. I know you can't help it sometimes, but try your best not to handle them. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and put our powder in here. It's going to be close. It's going to be real close. I guess I'm going to have to melt some and add some, because we are right up to the top. I don't know if you can see that, but and that's a 1 kilo crucible, so we're talking about a half a kilo of silver, and we have almost that because we have 412 grams. So I'm going to go ahead and Go ahead and get this put in the crucible. Go ahead and get the crucible in the little furnace and get her fired up, and then we'll add more silver as we get to it. And this is all going. Right here we have our little mold heating furnace, which I've got leveled out, ready to go. We'll do our first pour, will be his big bar, and then we'll see what we have left. Alright guys, we are getting pretty close to pour time. The material is almost completely melted. Warmed up our tongs. Our molds are going good. Let's see, my little mold brick broke. Yeah, you don't want to touch that right now. Just too hot. See, this is what I was talking about. You're always, when you're working with powders, you're always going to lose a little something. There's just no way around it. You can't help it. You know, I mean, it's very hard to do this completely accurate, no matter what you have, because this powder is going to move around and blow around and get stuck on the sides and everything else. Do your best to get every drop of it in there, but it ain't gonna happen. Alright guys, here we go. Brushing on that, and it ought to. Alrighty guys, we're back inside. After the melt, we have 409.56, 409.56, and this is after melt. So we lost 412.26 minus 409.56 equals, we lost 2.7 grams in the melt. That's not bad at all. There's the little bar we got for his giveaway he wants to do. I believe it weighed 34 grams. Let me check to see. just a little bit over an ounce, but that's very, very hard to pour exact. Yeah, I'm getting 34.26, so it's 3 grams, a solid 3 grams over an ounce. But in any case, there's his little bar for his giveaway he wants to do, so we're going to stamp and mark that up. That was the leftovers from his pour. I still have to cut some of this off and deduct. There's the big bar, which I'm going to clean up. But let me get back to you when this stuff is all cleaned up and done, and then we'll do our final markings and stampings and stuff like that. Alright guys, we'll get back to you in just a bit. Take the bolt cutters, guesstimate. We're looking for 11.31 grams. Let's see how close I got. And there we go, 16.59. So this we will polish up and return to Dr. Z. That's the cover of the postage. That's my end of the silver. And then we will get back to you when we've got this tallied up, polished up, finished up, and ready to go. Okay, so that's just a mark, just to ID this bar as silver. Nothing special. No. Okay guys, we're going to wrap this up. This is Dr. Z's. This is just an extra, it was just the pour-offs, the last of what was in the crucible. And then I cut that little piece off I showed you with the bolt cutters to actually get the pieces I need to cover for his return shipping. This is his 10 ounce. It is 10.18 troy ounces. And I actually have it, this is a 10 ounce copper mold, so it's actually just a hair, probably a hair too big to pour 10 ounces of silver in. 11 ounces would have been better. But in any case, it wouldn't have, divoted in like that. It would have rolled up to the top. But in any case, so there's 10 ounces of 99.9 silver that we got out of his powder. A little extra piece, and then he is going to do a giveaway on a channel. I had it written down here and I can't place it, but he has another little channel that he does, and he is actually gonna, he asked me to make him a 1 ounce bar so that he could give it away on that channel. So anyway, there we go. His total return after being melded and poured and the whole shot and taking out for the shipping and everything, he's got 12.63 troy ounces of silver out of all this stuff that we did. So hopefully when he gets some more, we'll go ahead and do some more and keep saving this stuff up maybe, and one day see if we can get a little bit of gold out of this stuff. I wish I knew exactly for sure what it is. I don't. I do know there's several different things in it. And there has to be some little traces of gold. It's just like I said, it's going to take quite a bit to get a gram or two out of it. It's just not worth it to try and take a, 100th of a gram out. It just doesn't pay to do that. So anyway, I'm going to get this packaged up and get it mailed out to him. And that'll wrap up this video, guys. Thanks for your patience. I know, like I said, my videos get kind of long, but there's just no way around it. I tried to make this one as short as possible. If you want to see the entire process, without leaving things out, you can go watch Dr. Z's, where I did Dr. Z's test, where we actually did a test on this powder, on 27 grams of this powder before we did this full refine. So that's like I said, if you want to go and see exactly how everything was done, this was done exactly the same way except on a larger scale. So, alrighty guys, we'll get back to you again soon. Have a good one.